Okay, welcome everyone. This is Shooting Game Weekly episode 91, and this time we're back. I'm back with a guest, MachinesAres. Is that the correct pronunciation there?
Yep, that would be it.
Awesome, and we're going to be discussing and checking out a normal run to the last boss in Raiden V. It was released this year, in fact, February. If the sources were right.
Yes.
And this year, this glorious year of shmups being released, 2016. It's still happening. Raiden V, it's back. I mean, we never thought Gravity 6 would happen. It never happened. But Raiden V is still happening.
It's here, and a lot of people. I mean, even in the last few months or the last year after they announced it, people are like, "Oh, it's just going to get canceled or delayed or something." But it's here.
Yeah, so we're here to just talk about it and what's different in Raiden V from Raiden 4, and kind of dispel some of the skepticisms with the crazy sidebar filled with all this information and some other things that you were telling me before we went live right now. A lot of things that aren't obvious when you play the game as well. So we're gonna figure all about that on the episode. So did you get Raiden V day one, or what's the deal?
I did.
Okay.
Well, they shipped it a few days before. I technically got it the day after it came out, just because of the shipping thing. But I had pre-ordered it, so I did have it really early.
Did you get your Xbox One for Raiden V?
I did not. No, I got it like year and a half, 2 years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not one of those. It was just really cool that they are starting to show more support for shmups on the new generation of Xbox, because unfortunately I don't think either Xbox One or PS4 are getting a ton of shmup support, but it's growing as it goes. There's a couple indie games out on the Xbox Marketplace now, and they're actually making a lot of the 360 ones backwards compatible, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it's interesting to see where the industry's going as far as console shmups, because now Steam is also becoming a big thing with a lot of them coming out on there. So yeah, it's cool that the new generation's still getting a little bit of love for shmups.
I mean, that's kind of what I thought when, like, Raiden 3 and Raiden 4 came out, even, like, it was that same feeling, like, it's like the game gets released retail or whatever, and it's like, it's Raiden, it's still here, and, shmups are definitely pretty relevant still in indies and all that, like you say.
Oh, yeah.
So it's cool to see Raiden 5, of course. Moss also did Caladrius. That was kind of released a little bit before this.
And they... I don't remember if they specifically did with Raiden 3 and 4, but they did partner with some of the original people from Seibu Kaihatsu, who did the first two Raiden games. So I think there's a little bit of that old school influence here as well, maybe because they were working with some of the original staff. So you get a little bit of the new and a little bit of the old, so it's pretty cool. We'll get into more detail about it later, but it's interesting to see that how the game came about. They actually did bring a lot of the older people back, probably just to maybe for the fans, just to bring back the so it still felt like Raiden, but it was still a new experience. So
right. Okay, so I might have to take a little intermission here while I try to address the stream issues.
Okay.
Now, so folks, I did get a new PC. It's my first time streaming the show on it, so it's gotta have the technical difficulties, of course. So I'm gonna lower the bitrate of the broadcast. What I'm gonna do. And hopefully we can fix that real quick here.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm so high. I mean, Raiden 5, it automatically looks pretty cool, I will say.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially, just from a visual standpoint, it's definitely, it's one of the more advanced shmups that has 3D, that's rendered in 3D anyway. I know some of the other stuff like Caldrius and just some of the other stuff that came out in like the 360 PS3 era. They did start to go a little more towards 3D stuff, but it was usually super low polygon, just kind of really basic looking models. But I feel like they kind of stepped it up a little bit here. It's still not like super HD, like crazy high res textures and everything, but it definitely looks sharper than any shmup that I've seen rendered in 3D so far. So
yeah, it's good to hear. I mean, yeah, now it's like more like if the game executes the style, like all that more so than the graphics. So
exactly right.
I like what I'm seeing here. Like that green on the grass is really vibrant.
Yep. It is. Yeah,
it's like refreshing to see because like that's a lot of shmups got like crazy like cratered mountain backgrounds. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Raiden 4 actually had a decent amount of that, which I there was a lot in Raiden 4 that I didn't like that much, and that was one of them. A lot of it did take place in space, or just in these really kind of drab looking backgrounds with kind of monotone browns and green, like dark greens. And
it was a little bit, and like in Raiden 4 there's like that rocket sequence.
Yep.
And like you see like that like cool smoke effect, of course, from the rocket, but like the blue sky in the background, like when you see that blue sky, it's like relief from because like
exactly. Like, but yeah, with this game, it kind of there's just a lot of relief. It's really colorful. There's a lot going on visually that doesn't make it seem too oppressive or boring. It's like there really is a lot to look at.
All right, update on the stream quality. It's been resolved. So
good.
Just imagine the update is appearing in the right side of the screen. So can you talk about the dialogue and the story? What's like going on in this game with that?
Well, there's not really a lot, as you'd probably imagine with Raiden. It's like there's basically
some characters, like actual characters, though.
Yeah, there are. It's basically just like you're. I think pretty much just like the previous Raiden games. It's pretty minimal, but you're just some kind of Earth defense people, and there's this band of space pirates who's trying to take over Earth and stuff like that, and that's more or less what it boils down to. You'll see a few more of the enemy characters as you get into the later levels. They'll start popping up on the side of the screen, like talking to you and taunting you and all that stuff. And
that's new too for Raiden. Like they never
story.
did that stuff with like the characters or personalizing the enemy beyond like kicking your ass really bad.
And it is kind of interesting because when you get to the end, you kind of see that the person who is that final boss or whatever, you can kind of put a face with that boss. You know what I mean? It's not a person, it is a machine, but since you've been talking with them, so to speak, you kind of like, oh, that's that guy. He's in that ship right now. You know?
I mean, it seems just like a modernization for shmups now.
Yeah, it's just kind of moving forward a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can probably get into the replay from the beginning and start talking about the game itself and some of the mechanics that we'll be seeing. We do got quite of a long game here, don't we?
Yeah, it's a little bit over an hour. If you do the true last boss, and it comes in just over an hour. So.
Okay, great. So 7-0 here, and do the countdown. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Great. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. All right. So you'll see I took a little bit of extra time in the menus too, just so you could see some of this stuff. When I was recording it here, because I'll click on New Game in just a second, and you'll see the first thing I believe is choosing the difficulty. It's saying, do you want to start a new game? Difficulty. Yeah, so the first thing is the ships. There's 3 different ships, which is another new thing for Raiden. Well, I mean, besides like the ferry or Raiden fighters, those had choices. But with the ships, it's the Azuma is basically your classic Raiden ship. But the other thing is with the ships in this one, they made it so your secondary weapon is actually tied to which ship you are. So like in Raiden 3, Raiden 4, you get the power-ups to choose which secondary weapon you wanted.
Right.
The little floating power-ups, but now it's just dependent on which ship you choose.
Well, that's interesting.
And but not only that, not only does each ship have its own secondary weapon, but they also have their own stats. One of them, will have more armor than the other. One of them moves a little bit quicker. So you have those little differences between each one. One has more armor, so it can take more hits before dying.
Okay, yeah. What's with the armor and the hits and stuff? I mean, that's
right? Another pretty new thing is basically your life stock is replaced by the shield needle that you'll see on the left sidebar. And you can kind of choose basically how strong your shield is in the options, which is basically kind of just like choosing how many lives you're going to start with. So it's just kind of replaced visually, and I guess that a lot of modern games just kind of do that now. Instead of having a traditional life bar, you just have, some kind of energy bar or, something like that. So it's kind of a modernization.
How many hits you can take with that thing?
Again, that depends on which ship you chose. If you choose the one with less armor, you'll get less. And again, in the options, depending on what you set it at, you can get more or less. I'd say, I think on default settings, you get about, I think it's 3 or 4, like pretty much classic Raiden. I turned it up here just because a couple of reasons, which is, I guess, a good time to bring that up is with this run, it's not like a super play or anything. I did continue a few times because I was mostly trying to show a lot of new mechanics, many of which I don't think, they're kind of hard to get used to, and they don't make the game very easy, basically. So especially the new weapons, which I'll talk about a little bit more, but basically you will see, hits come a few times, and it's
hits on your ship.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But
so, like, this is the first stage still?
It is, yeah.
Okay. We're flying over some highways and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, and what you're seeing, the weapon I'm using, that's the new plasma. You know how in Raiden 4 it had that big wavy plasma that would kind of whip around and like turn into circles and ovals.
Yeah, this one looks like the tree bark element from Caladrius.
Yeah,
you remember
yeah,
that
yeah, mm-hmm, yeah. So it's basically with the weapons now. There's 3 of each. Or I guess there's 2 of each type. So basically, you have your regular shot, which the normal type shot is basically your classic Raiden Vulcan shot.
Okay.
With the widespread, the yellow bullets. But then the alternate of that is the one that you'll see me be using here in this play, where it's similar, but when you move left and right, it actually will kind of wave a little bit to the left and the right. So you can actually hit stuff a little bit better on the left and the right sides of the screen just by moving your ship a little bit. So it gives you a little bit of a different perspective, a way of using the Vulcan. And it's a little bit, you'll see pretty soon in this one, the secondary laser is like a completely different thing. It's actually, it feels a little bit almost more like Dodonpachi or something, where what you do is you actually just stop shooting. You don't shoot at all for a couple seconds, and it charges it. And then when you release it, it's just this huge laser that can cover like almost more than half the screen. And it's just this huge blast laser. But then you just have to basically stop shooting and charge it again, which is a really hard way to play this game, because killing enemies quickly is one of the main things of doing well in this game. It's one of the main criteria. And not just because you're getting them off the screen quicker and getting their bullets to go away quicker, but it adds to your multiplier. So using that laser is really tricky because you have to charge it so much, and while you're charging, there's like double the amount of bullets coming at you. So you'll see that soon.
Okay. Is there like a multiplayer? It's just for destroying like enemies quick, you said?
It's quick. So basically, as quick as you can once they enter the screen.
Yeah, that's usually what it was, like Raiden 4 and 3, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like you'll see when I kill them, it says 2.0, 1.5,
okay,
all
still
that stuff.
got that going on, sure.
Yeah, and then for the plasma, again, the regular plasma is that curly whip laser from Raiden 4, but then the one I'm using, actually I just switched to that charge laser I was telling you about, if you watch it. But yeah, the secondary plasma is that weird, the tree bark one that you were talking about.
What do you think about like the ship speed and like how does like the flow of the game end up playing out?
It's interesting because with this one, the Azuma, it's pretty well balanced mostly.
Also, it seems like it's kind of fast to me.
Right here, you'll see the little soul, so it still has the souls and the Miklas and you know, the general right and stuff. So, but yeah, the Azuma is pretty much the well balanced one. It moves pretty quickly, but not super quick, and it has a good amount of armor and attack. But then the second one is pretty much the heavy duty. It has the strongest secondary weapon, but the secondary weapons only fire forward, so they have no homing ability, but they're really strong. And he moves really slow, which I think it's really just kind of a personal preference for shmups, whether you like your controls to be quick or slow. And, you know, a lot of games give you the choice, basically, you know, like Dodonpachi, when you're holding down for your laser, your ship moves slower then. But if you're shooting a regular shot or not shooting, it moves a lot quicker. But in this one, it's kind of like you have to choose and stick with that.
Yeah.
And then the third ship actually moves really quick, which can be really good for certain situations. But for me, I tend to prefer slower ship speeds, so moving quickly gets me in trouble a lot.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. And here's another new thing. You also just see there's this cheer system now, which I meant to talk about earlier, but there's a lot to talk about. The cheer thing, as you'll see on the left side, it's a system like, see for me, it says get fairly, which is a misspelled fairy. But basically, it's like whenever you do something kind of significant, like say you get a certain amount of points, you pass a certain level, it pops up on the side, and then basically everyone else who's playing the game at that time, it shows that you did that.
Oh man,
it says like, up
hey,
in that
we're all
corner,
playing
says,
the game, guys. We're all playing Raiden 5.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like
one of us.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like a new kind of social way of thinking about it.
Wow,
you know, shmups, I guess.
amazing.
Like, but it's cool because then, you know, on everyone else's screen, it's going to say up in the corner like, you know, my gamer tag just did this, and then what you can do is when you see that come up, you hit what they call the cheer button, which is just basically saying, oh yeah, cool, you did that. It's almost like a like on Facebook or a favorite on Twitter kind of thing.
That's hilarious.
But whenever someone does that, it fills up your cheer bar at the bottom, that blue bar. And when it's up to one, you know, it has 3 levels. Whenever one of those levels is available, you press X and it activates what they call a cheer attack or support attack. And basically, another ship, which I guess the idea is that it's supposed to be one of the people who actually, you know, cheered your thing.
They come in and help you out. Like,
yeah.
A little like AI assist.
Yes.
Everything. Okay.
Yeah, but usually it just kind of makes your weapons a little bit stronger for just a short amount of time. So using it in the right spots can actually can help a lot, you know, and using it on a boss can help you just, you know, kill that boss before it gets into one of its worst patterns or, you know, something like that.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, but, it's weird, and I think a lot of people reacted weird to it, like on the forums, and especially some of the Japanese people I saw posting on 2chan. They were kind of like, yeah, that's weird. Like, but then the more I played it, and the more some other people played it and posted their impressions, were like, you know what, this is actually pretty cool. Like, it's a good idea. You know, it doesn't add anything super significant to the game, but
I like it.
Yeah,
it's something new for the
exactly.
genre.
Yeah,
like,
and
it much.
Yeah, it kind of brings that sense of community in a certain way, you know.
Yeah.
And I think with stuff like this that's so niche to begin with, a lot of people already do kind of feel like, you know, that community thing, even though, you know, there's still a lot of I don't know, people who aren't so friendly, but
well, yeah,
you'll have that anywhere. But yeah, it's you know, it's just kind of like, hey, we're all playing the same game right now. It's cool.
I wonder if do you ever like rely on the cheer attacks, like for bosses or anything like that? Or?
No, I don't rely. But sometimes
you don't need them or anything.
No, like you'll see, I honestly just forget it's there most of the time. But then sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, this one hard part or this one hard pattern is coming up, and then I'll use it just to kind of cover my, you know.
Some of the graphical effects are pretty nice, like the slashing of the boss and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It's looking pretty crisp and similar mechanical designs you can expect from like 4 and 3.
Yeah, and watching it on video doesn't even begin to compare to actually, seeing it in action and everything. So
yeah, it's really
pretty
good
cool.
looking, really nice looking.
And that's another thing that a lot of people had kind of complained about or were really skeptical about before it came out, because whenever Moss would kind of show it off on podcasts or like live streams and stuff before the game came out, they would only show like the first 2 levels. But the first 2 levels, the developers even said in interviews, they're basically like training levels. They're so much easier than the levels that come after them, that it's almost like they're basically just kind of getting you ready for the rest of the game. And everyone was like, oh, this looks so easy, like this is so dumb, like are they dumbing down Raiden now, and like, is it just going to be...
They never will.
And as you'll see right now in the video, I'm starting the 3rd level, and you'll just see bullet patterns and everything just get a lot more complex, and just the density of enemies in general a lot more complex. Like in this part, the enemies will even hide underneath the little canopies of these buildings that you see, and you don't even see them until like the last minute. They're already there and then they're shooting you. Like you'll see these guys come from the left.
Yeah.
See, like, and I have the Dodonpachi laser again, and the more you just like previous Raidens, the more you keep getting that shot type, it keeps leveling it up. So you'll see that that laser just get bigger and bigger to the point where it's like more than half the screen.
A lot of power-up levels, okay. Yeah. That's kind of fun.
Each weapon has 10 power-up levels now. And you can,
like Raiden 4 and 3 did too, but it was like 7 or something like that, but even more now. It's fun.
Yeah, and the other good thing that, a lot of elitists and hardcore people probably complain about is that even if you die, you keep your levels.
Okay, yeah, everyone hates fucking power back up. Just everyone admit it, okay? So.
Yeah. But
especially in the Raiden games. You have to rely on the stupid fairy to be there and like give you all the power-ups. Like
exactly, right. But here, they just, they let you keep it no matter what.
And you have plenty of meeknesses, like you gotta have your meeknesses.
Right. I couldn't even get that Miklas because all those patterns that were coming at me there.
Yeah, they got in such a place because the screen's going diagonally upward right there. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. So, you'll see the difficulties start to spike a lot here. Like that bullet pattern right there.
So when you take a hit, like I noticed you get like stunned. For a
moment. It kind of, it makes it like almost like your plane kind of falters, like it's almost going to start taking a nosedive, but then he kind of pulls it back up a little bit. Like as if an airplane got hit by something and kind of recovered.
It seems like it's implemented well, I would say.
Yeah. There's another thing, I think you'll see it soon. I kind of meant to mention in the other levels. There's this other new mechanic where, because everything is completely rendered in 3D and everything, you'll have these sections where the camera zooms out or in. There's actually 3 different camera positions that the game has. And depending, how much it zooms in or out, you'll have a lot more stuff coming on the screen when it's zoomed out, because there's so much more area, and those parts get really tough. Plus, bullets that you need to be dodging, they're so much smaller on the screen that it's actually a little bit hard to see.
Oh, so this game's doing like some perspective.
Yes.
Tomfoolery as well, I suppose.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I love that. You gotta have it nowadays with the 3D shmups, because you want I think you want to take advantage of that sense of depth.
Exactly.
That's why I kind of like the 3D like Twinbee on the 3DS myself.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I picked that up as well.
Nice.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'll mention it when I see it. Like, it's pretty noticeable with the zoom out. Like you really notice that it's zoomed out, like because your ship gets smaller and you really start to notice so many more enemies appearing on the screen. Right now this is basically the normal view, but there is the zoom out, and then there's one that's just slightly zoomed in more than it is right now, which makes it feel a little more claustrophobic, which is kind of a cool effect, which I haven't really seen done very much.
And the music's epic though too. Like I liked all the music. Like it fits
it's
it well.
great. Yeah,
It fits it
and
well.
it's done by the same guy as Caladrius as well.
Okay, it sounded okay. Wow. Okay. Nice.
But and like that was another thing. Like as soon as somebody posted the music, it kind of became available, and everyone's just like, "Man, this soundtrack is really good." Like, and even without having seen the game and how those tracks play into the game that yet, they're just like, "Wow, this game sounds epic," and I haven't even played it yet.
It's always good. Yeah, I know people were skeptical because what's his name? Was it Go Sato? The original like 4 and 3 composer, or 2 and 2 or whatever.
Yeah. And I mean those are some iconic songs, so you know it's like I can kind of understand where they're coming from, but
he still only remixed them in 4, so it's like
it's true.
He was done.
Yeah, he did Gallon 3 and like the remix version.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy did a really good job.
So like like some cool water based levels. This is the classic Raiden 3 naval big carrier stage.
Yeah.
Gotta have it. It's always like that stage that's like slightly harder to beat.
Yeah. I guess that's another thing as well that I don't think any of the previous Raiden games did. If you see when I kill stuff, the medals drop out. And tons of other shmups have done it, but it's basically if you stop shooting for a second, you'll absorb all the medals that are on the screen.
Sure.
Which is interesting, but it's also a little bit cumbersome because sometimes you're killing so many enemies and so many of those medals are appearing that they almost look like bullets, and it's hard to tell between a bullet and a medal.
Metal or bullets, oh no.
But they actually just patched it about a week ago, and it fixed pretty much all of those visibility issues, so that's nice. But for the first week or so, it was a little hard to sometimes discern between the.
Okay, so this is looking more like a Raiden boss.
Yeah, if you look, I mean, these patterns.
Dude, what's with the Fruity Loop bullets?
Yeah,
that was interesting.
That's another thing I kind of mentioned to a lot of people is that it's the bullet patterns are a lot more creative, almost in the way that like a cave game or Crimson Clover or something like. Lots of different colors, and a lot of times the colors form shapes. As they come out, whereas Raiden is usually just kind of like coming straight at you, just kind of regular, straight. I guess what's the word? Straight line geometrical patterns. But in this, there's lots of these spiral patterns and circular patterns. Like I don't know if you noticed how much some of those patterns that were coming at me earlier. This is only the 3rd boss out of 8, and the bullets are so fast, like. You barely even have time to react to some of these patterns. It's like you really just have to start memorizing old school style. Yeah, it's even though some of it looks a little bit like cave or newer shmups, they're so much faster that you don't have that time to kind of get yourself in the right position. It's like almost as soon as you see the bullets, they're about to hit you.
Yeah, it's like playing a Psycho game too. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
You kind of got to have that memory and then execute it.
Yep. Exactly.
And it didn't seem that bad from that boss. Like that was pretty fast. But if you know ahead of time, like that kind of rhythm.
Exactly.
It looked just like that type of thing, and that's really what like is satisfying about all the Raiden games. I feel like it's like you pull it off, and to the spectator, that actually looks really impressive. I think.
Oh yeah.
Which is like the cool part. Well, sometimes you can make it look easy too, but.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's just a lot of cool visual stuff. Like right now, this waterfall, and it's like there's just so much different terrain and so much stuff going on.
Everyone loves waterfalls in video games.
It's true. So and then there's a castle here. It's like
the castle. Yeah. So
it reminds me of Battle Garega.
Oh, nice. Your shield's pretty low, so if you get one more hit, are you gonna?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a pretty stark difference between just getting hit and the game over. It's like the explosion of your ship takes up about half the screen, so you definitely know when you're dead.
Oh man, get wrecked.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, right now it's actually zoomed out now, and you see it zooming in a little bit in real time.
It felt like there was a lot of stuff on screen there.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, and here's that new Vulcan that I was telling you about. See how when I move to the left or right, it kind of waves a little bit.
Got a question from the chat. Why are there tanks in front of your house? It's a good question.
Exactly. Well, I guess if you own a castle, maybe you can afford tanks as well.
They got to protect that castle somehow.
It's true.
It's like you have like the tanks coming to shoot the castle, and you take out the tanks, and it's like protected the castle or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
Oh man, are you approaching the boss here? Is the music getting spooky, or is it a new?
No, it's just there's a lot of intensity in the soundtrack. It makes
like...
it feel like you are, but yeah, even a lot of these Zakos, I mean, their bullets are pretty quick and pretty constant as well. So even some of their patterns are a little disorienting. The Zakos aren't really anything to mess with in Raiden.
Yeah, these are a lot more of those little scene transitions. I like those. Those.
Yeah.
Because those are always fun, and it's like nice to see them more often because
exactly.
it hardly gets attached to the game from only seeing it like once per stage. I feel like.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting that they have more of that. I mean, Eschatos was like that. I like a lot of those little switches.
Yeah.
Keep the action fun.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives you a little second to take a breather, I guess, for just a second before you go back into, you know,
a little cigarette puff or whatever you do.
Yeah.
Don't smoke.
Exactly. But yeah, see, and also with the left pane on the side of the screen, you can actually push the left trigger, and there's 3 different panes. The one that I'm on now is the cheer pane, where it shows other people's cheers, like you see their gamer tag and everything. And then it shows the stage score, like my score versus other people, the top score on the stage, on the leaderboards and everything. So it shows you all that in real time. But then the other pane, the second one, it shows you just kind of general tips about this particular level that you're playing. Like in every level, and like say you get to a new part of the level and there's a new enemy or something like that, it'll give you a little tip about how to fight that enemy. So it's the first time I actually died.
Oh, you're talking about the conversation log on the right, or sorry?
No, on the left.
Okay.
I haven't switched to the other panes yet, but actually right now it's zoomed out as well. You'll probably notice a lot.
It's a little hard to see the detail of all the sidebar stuff, I will admit.
Okay. Yeah. Well, again, if you're playing it, it's a little more clear.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Right now, I'm kind of on a window here, but...
yeah. But yeah, so the second... Basically, again, you have these 3 options for the left panel. You can change it. You can do this one, which is mostly cheer info. Then there's the second one where you get... a bunch of just general tips about the level that you're currently playing. Okay. Also, right now, it's zoomed in a little bit more than usual. Can you tell?
Yeah.
It's a little bit. You notice the bullets are a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
It's very slight, but yeah. So there's basically the 3 camera configurations, but the third.
Man, they're not fucking around.
No, the third panel option that you have for that left panel. It's actually just all game stats, like percentage of enemies you killed, how much damage you've done, how many enemies escaped. Like I usually switch to it at the end of the level just to kind of check out how I did on that level. There's my Dota.
Yeah, such a beefy laser. I like it.
I know. It just has a big payoff because you have to charge for so long to get it that big.
It's a nice take on it, yeah, definitely.
It is, yeah, and it's just another option. A lot of people have their own play style for shmups, and they do better with certain types of shots or ships or stuff like that. So, just more options.
Man, flying over that city in the background, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Gotta love the fast scrolling. Oh, holy fuck, that's just blew my mind.
Yeah,
that was good. I might be a little too impressed right now. This is my first time seeing the game.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's been like shitting on it though. It's like, come on, guys. Fuck.
See, yeah, that's what I meant. It's like you'll
Like, give
kind
it
of
a
have
break.
that. Yeah, in a lot of communities, you'll have that. Like people who are really just expecting one specific thing, and if they don't see that exact thing,
And everyone's always been
it's
shitting on like the new Raiden games. Like, it
that's
doesn't get a break. Doesn't get a break.
yeah.
Like,
Again,
Raiden
I mean,
4,
I'm
Raiden 3, they're great. They're great games.
yeah. I mean, I'm not the hugest fan of 3 or 4, but I do like 4 more than 3, and I've played it a good amount. It's just I don't think
Yeah.
it's what I would say a shining example of the genre, you know. And
Yeah.
the other thing is, Raiden 1 was pretty much the game that got me into shmups. Like, I think it was 91. I think I played it on like SNES or something. I mean, I had played a few others on NES, like in the late 80s and everything, but Raiden was the first one that just made me go like, wow, like this is what this genre can be. You know, like just some of the enemy patterns. The music was so cool. Like the graphics were, you know, colorful. The backgrounds weren't just, you know, space with stars. So
like,
it just
So like you're in this base now, and it's like
this
you're
is
fighting an ATST or something back there.
yeah, it's the second wave of this boss. The first one was that weird, you know, looking ship thing. But then after you destroy that, they fly down into this tunnel here, and it splits into 2, and then you fight the other 2 parts down in the tunnel there.
Okay. Were you saying there was branching paths or something in this game?
There is. It doesn't affect all that much. I think, as far as I know, all it does is adjust the difficulty just a little bit. But the way you trigger the different paths is your how much destroy rate you get.
Oh.
Nice. So basically, you just have to try and kill as much as you can, and to stay on the highest. Or I guess it's kind of like in a lot of the cave games, or even Battle Garega. It's like depending on how well you do, it ranks up the difficulty a little bit. It's technically ranks, but the ranks correspond to what they call a route, basically. So
Okay.
the levels are more or less the same in, you know, just what happens in the levels, what order they're in, but it just the difficulty is a little bit higher on the higher ranks.
Well, it makes sense if you're getting all the flashes or whatever.
Exactly, right. So you have to get a destroy rate of over 97% on every stage to stay on the highest rank, the S rank.
Okay, nice. I like that.
Yeah, so one of the things is if you want to do that, you usually have to do it kind of strategically, because honestly, if, say, you're just using the regular blue Raiden laser, you don't have enough coverage to kill 97% of the enemies, you know, because so many of them just swoop in and then swoop out. It's like they're on the screen for like a second or 2 and then they're gone. If you only have that blue laser, you can't get to them in time. So you kind of have to have something with a little more coverage if you want to get that higher rank. You'd have to have Vulcan or one of the plasmas to really get that coverage.
Sure, it makes sense.
Yeah, so there's a good amount of variety in the things you can do. There's the rank. There's the other thing is the true last boss, which I will get to later. The requirement's kind of weird for it, but it actually makes the game harder, because you actually have to get all 3 of your weapons to level 10 before the final stage, or before the final boss. But to do that, it's like you have to basically, it's like you have to spread it out a little bit more, because you'll be getting power-ups, you know, to power up each weapon. But if you wait too long, say you just want to focus on your Vulcan, you get Vulcan up to like 5 or something, but then the other 2 are still at 0. Like when you go to start powering up those other ones, it's going to be so weak that you're going to have a really hard time. So you kind of have to be balancing and like switching out which ones you get, because if you get past stage 2 or 3 and you still have any of your weapons on like level 1 or 2, it's going to be really tough.
Oh man, so they're going to make you like find the best places to use the weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
And all that,
right now
so
you'll
you can
see
optimize it.
On the left panel, I switched over to the stat, so you can see like all these different stats, what's going on in the game right now. This is actually one where the game really takes a difficulty jump. Once you get to this big naval ship here, I mean, you'll see these constant turrets, which are actually kind of hard to target. And then they bring back something that was pretty common in most of the other Raiden games. You'll have these ground enemies that basically creep up right behind you, where you can. I think they usually call them snipers, and it's like they come out of nowhere from the side of the screen behind you and start attacking you. And it's like, you see those little guys down there. Look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
And then they come from all sides. You'll just see them constantly popping up here, while the turrets are shooting you, while flying enemies are coming at you.
Pretty intense.
These guys are, look at that.
You took a lot of hits there.
Yeah, it's really bad. This is one of the worst parts.
Almost like under defeat, like
Yeah.
this little section here.
Yep.
Kind of going around it. And the angles are just like really screwing you over.
Yep.
That's what I always felt like.
Yeah, it's going diagonal
big
up
carrier
and
and
diagonal
everything.
down, the opposite direction. It's constantly moving around.
It's like they're really trying to set you up with that.
Yeah, it's
Cheer support.
not going to save me though.
Oh man, that was holy crap. Yeah, your ship's explosion is insane. It's like a nuke.
It's huge. Yeah, which would kind of make sense, I suppose.
Yeah, because it's like you got the crazy firepower. It's got to be a big explosion.
Exactly. You got to have something in that ship that's creating that firepower. And then it's like right here, you get a little transition, and it gets even worse. It starts going faster. You hear the music ramp up a lot, and then it's just like, it just hits you. Like, look at this.
As long as like some like distorted guitar there, like
Oh yeah, a lot
like
of guitar.
metal.
Yeah.
It's like
Thankfully, there's no snipers in this part, but you just get bombarded pretty quick. Got my plasma leveled up pretty high.
yeah, it does work decently. That plasma. I suppose.
It does. Unfortunately, though, it's still not as good as the one from 4.
Big
And
cannon.
This giant, yep.
One day from retirement for that big cannon.
Yeah, these are rough. And you got, and then they come from behind. Look at all that from behind you.
Man,
While it scrolls down.
So I suppose you just be like, what do you do? Just hug the bottom of the screen, just in that little spot where they're gonna appear, then, or take them out immediately?
I think
or
you
what?
could actually.
Can you
Well,
seal
it
the
kind of
bullets like
depends
that?
on what weapon you have, because if you have the original plasma laser, you can kind of get it to home in towards them, or this one as well. But I think it's kind of like you almost want to stay in the top while they're at the bottom and kind of let it scroll a little bit so you have more room to move. You know?
Oh, okay. So if you want to dodge their attacks.
Yeah.
you're saying.
Right at first, yeah. This boss really ramps up difficulty too, and it's especially hard to fight with this gun, because if you notice on bosses with this gun, you have to manually attach each of those little nodes onto the boss. Yeah.
I imagine
those
you sometimes
patterns?
might use a bomb or something just to get up there and attach
Yes.
them or something.
Yep. That's what I do. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There you go. Oh man.
But then if it hits you, then it's gone. You lose all those lock-ons.
Ah. Well, that's a good punishment.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah.
Oh man, yeah, this is definitely some Raiden patterns here.
Yeah, that's what I tried to tell a lot of people when they were always skeptical about the difficulty and all that. I was like, just wait till you get to the 3rd or 4th stage. Like, it's Raiden, trust me. And look at this.
Yeah, still got a ways to go.
That giant laser in the middle, you can't touch that. And then it's shooting those other patterns, basically covering all the spots that you could normally move to avoid that laser.
Yeah, like so I assume there's like a good way to practice or like a training mode. Or how's that?
Well, there
for
is
the
a
game?
stage select, and there is a boss mission mode.
Okay,
and
usually
that's
like what they have.
that doesn't mean it's a boss rush mode. It's very different. It's actually a mission mode where there's lots of different missions, almost like challenges, where you'll fight each boss, or maybe one mission is just that you're fighting one boss, but you have to do it with only 3 lives and only with a certain amount of weapon level or something like that.
Gotcha.
So it really gets you into a lot of different situations to learn those boss patterns well. I mean, after I played, the first maybe 10 or 15 missions in the boss mission mode, I had the patterns for the first few bosses down like back of my hand.
Nice. Okay.
And there's like 50 missions, so there's a ton of them to do, and there's leaderboards for them and all that stuff. So.
Okay. The bomb lasts kind of a little bit longer than the Raiden 4 bomb. At least
it does. And
is that bomb the same for all the ships too?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it lasts kind of long. It looks like.
A little bit, yeah. And the other thing is also in Raiden 4, you had when you use a bomb, it took a second for it to actually hit the ground and explode, basically. But in this one, it's still like that technically in this game. It takes just a little, like half a second before it actually hits the ground and explodes.
Oh, okay.
But in Raiden 4, it took probably a good second or so before it actually.
2 types with the DLC ship.
Oh yeah,
that
that's
did the
right,
like delayed bomb actually, and then the default one was actually the instant.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I'm used to playing with the DLC ship.
I see.
Well, at least because the one I played recently was the PS3 version, which has all the DLC on it already. So
Gotcha.
I kind of got used to that recently.
Yeah.
After I played 5 a bunch, I went back to 4 just to kind of see how it compared, and
Cool.
but just kind of notice the small differences and just see what was similar, what was different.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty impressed by a lot of the differences they made. Like,
Yeah,
they're really
seems
trying.
like,
They're really trying to do something. To make this fresh.
yeah, and it seems a lot of people really are catching on to it. Like a lot of the people I see posting on the Shmups forums and everything that were very skeptical at first. They're like, okay, I got it now, and I changed my mind. Like
You got to give it a chance. You got to give it a chance.
Mm-hmm. But of course, the fact that it's only on one console, it makes a lot of people pissy, and but a lot of the people that are giving it a chance are really just liking it a lot. And that even goes for Japanese people a lot as well, because a lot of them kind of had that same attitude. They're like, oh, why would they make this for Xbox One, blah, blah, blah. But then they finally caved in and got it, and they're like, you know what, this is actually pretty awesome.
Nice.
I saw a lot of skepticism when it first came out, like on the Japanese discussion boards. But then I logged on about a week and a half later, and I saw a lot of posts that are like, I actually like this.
Cool. Is there co-op play or anything like that?
There is not, but with the way the games are now, I have a feeling they might add it because a lot of people ask for it, and they can just patch it, basically,
Like you said, yeah, they already did for one of that bullet visibility issue. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Well, I guess, yeah, anything can happen, I guess.
Yeah. So I think it's very possible, but it's not in this package now. It was designed more like to be like a lot of modern games where you kind of have a lot of different objectives, and it's kind of more of a single player, almost like RPG-like experience in a certain way, that there's different stories, things you can do, there's different things you can experiment with and collect. And
I guess we could see that parallel almost with the Darius Burst Chronicle Saviors.
True,
Really
yep, that's a perfect example.
Submissions and crazy branching parts of stages to go. I mean,
yeah, that's a good example.
It's a good evolution, I think.
It is, because
nowadays.
Yeah, and especially now that everything is going so much more mobile, it's like people need to be able to have shorter experiences, or like not shorter, but more in little parts. Like
true.
It's like in Darius, it's like you're not going to spend your time on the bus or something playing an entire arcade mode run or something. But if you're playing CS mode, you can play one stage here, one stage there, one stage there, that kind of thing. So
that's true. Yeah. Man, just more popcorn, just taking shots at you here. So what stage is this now?
I believe this is 5.
5? Okay.
It's just cool. I mean, these backgrounds, it's like, even though we're getting into more of the kind of darker, more industrial stuff, it's still interesting. It's like red. You can see like there's a lot of little like, I don't know, like capsules or little assembly lines down there in the bottom.
Yeah, and there's more of this fast scrolling too. Like this, yeah, more of it, more and more.
Yep.
It's looking good. It's looking good.
And then you have this. It's like you're going vertically up or down through these little elevator shafts. It's just a cool effect.
That's nice, yeah.
And now we're at a big train yard, and you see how much it's zoomed out right now.
Oh yeah. Hey, so is there any like voice acting, or did you like turn that off, or?
No, there's no voice acting.
There isn't. No. Okay.
No.
That's one I was curious about that.
Yeah.
Wow, you really are zoomed out here. Dang.
Yeah. Look at how crowded it gets.
It's crazy how much the spread shot's covering in this view.
Yep.
It's like
that's what it's meant for, I think. Really, yeah. It's like, you know, like we were talking about earlier. It's like finding the right weapon to use for the right part. It's like when those zoom out parts come, you like Vulcan is pretty much your go-to, you know.
Gotcha.
You see, we have a lot more of these wavy kind of like Ketsui, Dodonpachi like kind of patterns.
Oh, nice dodges.
See, and that cheer support's really cool too with those missiles. That really does a lot of extra damage. And look at those bubble things.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That was a fun attack.
You actually have to dodge like pretty far outside the little nucleus of the bubbles to.
They look like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, it splits into 3, and you have
What? That's cheap. Yep. That looks really cheap.
I think the main thing is you want to focus on one, because they don't have that much health when it's split into 3, but they just, with all 3 of them alive, they attack so much that it's like you have to be real careful at the beginning and try to just at least knock out one of them so you can kind of relax a little bit more on the other 2.
Damn.
And most that whole second phase of that battle, you're zoomed out as well. So no, that was 6 actually.
And so no loading, from what I could tell.
No.
So that's good.
Yeah, and that was another thing
That's
a bunch
good.
of people were complaining about before it came out. They're like watching this, the live stream videos that they did for the game or something like that. And they're like, oh, it looks like it loads so long, but like it literally the only time it ever loads is when you first start the game. It loads for maybe 30 seconds.
That's the only
and then
time,
that's it.
yeah. Because I was gonna say I didn't notice it at all as we went through the game. So it's really good. It took me out of it for Caladrius, for example.
Yeah, that's true.
Guys that did the element upgrades and stuff.
Yep,
and that
that's true.
It took me out of the experience, and I like to see it connected. So
it's very true. Yeah. This part kind of reminds me of a part in Raiden 4, actually, where you're kind of going on this outdoor thing where there's these bridges, and it's also zoomed out right now, and this part gets really hectic.
it's looking like an out zone stage or something right now.
Yeah,
it's like a little dude like run through there and whatnot.
Yep.
I like this. Like, yeah, this is cool. It's a little bit. It's a change of. There's a bunch of things that are like a little bit of a change of pace for the series.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the kind of details in the background. And
the Miklas.
different types of stages for a riding game. Whoa. Was that slowdown? Holy shit.
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen slowdown in this game. That's just how much crap there was.
Xbox One slowdown. It's a thing. It's a thing still. That one part.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, now you're like in the trees now.
Yeah, look at those patterns. It's crazy. It's like yellow and red.
Oh, the tree got knocked over.
Yeah, it's just like little stuff like that that just gives you more to look at, It's not just static.
Someone commented that the HUD covers the ship completely when you're zoomed out sometimes.
Yeah, you can actually turn the HUD off though.
Oh, hey.
If you want to. I just kept it there for, I guess, so it looks more like Raiden, and you recognize, hey, there's the bomb counter.
Can you turn like all the stuff off, like the score and?
No, just the score, the bombs, and the cheer thing. You can turn them all off.
That's good. I like that.
You have to do it before you start. You can't do it in game yet. Anyway, sure. I don't know if they might patch it or something, but you just have to do it before you start the game. It's in the main options menu. So.
Because you might as well just turn it off too and enjoy it just the same, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But again, for the purposes of having a video for the show, I wanted to just have it there.
That makes sense. Would you play like without the HUD?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, sure.
Or maybe because you can actually control. You don't even have to put it completely off the screen, but you can put it so only just a little tiny bit of. The bomb counter is there.
Something, yeah.
Exactly. And this stage is cool. It looks almost like a Middle Eastern, like kind of Arabian type thing. Like,
dang, the hedge mazes.
It's kind of extravagant for a shmup,
You're later on when you got like the hedge mazes.
Yeah, this is second to last stage. This stage is really cool too because it's like half of it you're on the ground, but then at one point you reach basically a space center, and kind of like in Raiden 4, they actually launch a space shuttle and you follow it up into space.
Oh, so you gotta have your space launch sequence.
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
It's really cool. It's well done and it looks really cool. This part's rough. I hate this part. There's so many of these creeper ground enemies that come out of these buildings and stuff, and they just keep coming, and they shoot pretty quick. Those guys, those snipers.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of health as well. They take a lot of shots. I got them pretty well in that, but so much other stuff. Yeah, so you can see we're getting to the Space Center, what do you call it, the landing strip, or the... This is one of the worst zoom out parts coming up here as well.
Okay.
You'll see it zoom out, and then you get like 8 of these enemies all at once that shoot these huge radial patterns. Like, it's pretty bad. These Zakos here are okay because their bullets are actually destructible, so you just kind of have to be careful. But like here, it's like it already starts to get kind of bad, and then right after that, there's like twice as many of them shooting that same pattern.
With the zooming out and stuff, like there was a comment in the chat, like the game, it looks like a PS3 or 360 game, but like, could the PS360 really do these zoom out things with all this detail and then with all these extra like 3D ships and stuff? Like, it seems like this wasn't exactly possible before.
Probably not.
Like,
yeah.
Because graphics do look like something PS3 or 360 could do, but I don't know about all those like 3D crazy 3D ships and stuff. Because
see, there's
you
the
can
launch.
zoom in. Yeah, you zoom into those and it's just like insanely detailed. And oh shit! Like a launch sequence.
Yep.
That was quick.
Yeah, this part's really cool. There's just a bunch of space debris, mostly, that you just destroy for metals, and it's just really cool scenery. Like, there are some enemies, but they're kind of sparse for this first little part because you're supposed to just kind of focus on destroying as much debris as you can.
Trying
and not hitting.
Like set the mood here.
Yeah.
Dead Space style.
Yep.
I actually haven't even played Dead Space, so take that comment for what it's worth. Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, it really. I think it did a pretty cool job of
all the metals. Like, it's a little metal zone.
But it's like I don't even want to spend the time to absorb them a lot of the time, just because I'm focused on killing the enemy.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the space debris is still coming while the enemies are coming, so you kind of have to dodge both.
Ah, right.
Here comes some more Zako patterns. And then we get into some bigger ones. This boss is really cool too.
I have Dead Space.
I'm pretty close to the
play
boss
at some point.
Actually, it's if you're a gold member, it's free next month on Xbox.
Oh, nice. Good tip there.
So even if somebody doesn't have it, you can get it free in about a week.
That's actually good to know because I have it on my PS3 and I can get it on the 360 now. I'm still a gold member. I'm gold, baby.
And they're also making it compatible on Xbox One as well, so I'll probably be streaming it pretty soon as well. I mostly just do shmups and horror. That's pretty much my two big things.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Kind of a coincidence I mentioned Dead Space then.
Yeah, right. You see how I'm on the pane with the tips on the left side for just a second there? These patterns get pretty bad.
Damn. That's nutty. It looks like a nightmare.
It's bad. And I've kind of learned it well from the boss mission mode, but to execute it is a whole different thing than knowing how to do it.
Yeah, that looks pretty annoying. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's about it.
Because it corners you down, like in that corner there.
And then they can make these patterns a little crazier too, because you got that.
That's true.
You got that shield, which you can take so many hits or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I like not this phase, but the next phase of the boss is really cool. This one's annoying.
Dang.
You'll see why pretty good. See, because those aren't just regular radial patterns. It's like there's two of them, and they're offset from each other. So it's not like you can stay in one spot and just kind of move a little bit. It's like you have to stay in one spot and then right at the exact right moment move a little bit to one side.
Jeez.
But I like this. This pattern's really cool.
Oh man, fun. Take that, space station thing.
Yeah. Deep Space 6 or something. And then we go, I think, back down to Earth. Or no, we go to, I think, this other planet or something now, where the alien boss is hiding.
Man, the cutscenes in space, that's sick.
Yeah, isn't that cool, all the other ships and stuff? It's like you're a whole fleet now, you're not just one. You're going to attack the final base, if you will. Yeah, this stage is real intense. But it's probably the coolest music in the game too. You'll probably catch on to it.
Okay.
Most people say this is like their favorite music. So we're floating above some planet. Haven't gone to it yet. Some new enemies there, kind of randomly in the last level.
Oh man, like little Simon Says little
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, nice. It was like weird.
I like how the plasma looks when it's all powered up like that, like the 5 little hooks or whatever you want to call
Yeah,
them.
it's kind of crazy. It's like, oh, you are powerful now.
Yeah, I think they call it a grabber plasma, I want to say.
Oh man. Wow.
Yeah, I like how it looks like that. Yeah, so now we're down on this other planet now.
Someone's like, this song is 10 minutes long.
Yeah. It's true.
Not even looped, huh?
No, it just keeps getting more and more intense. It's really
Boxer shot type.
Yeah, it's almost like a, what do you call it? Like a classical composition in a certain way. But it's really cool that they actually did that so it fits the game, and it's like when you have these little kind of switches or changes in the music is like right when those little the little transition things happen. So it's like right as you
Nice.
transition into the next stage, then the music picks up right there.
Yeah, I know that the games try to do that every now and then. I've seen it happen in Raiden 4, and
Yeah.
it's not just a coincidence. Like, they do
Yeah.
try to time that shit out, and it's probably really damn annoying to do it too. So,
Exactly right.
for them.
hmm
So to actually pull it off and notice it, it's a nice little feeling.
So there's my max power Vulcan.
Oh. Zoom out.
And zoom out, yep.
Man, it sucks for the enemy when they have that. Yeah, that. He's using the spread shot. Oh, not again. Oh.
Yeah. Exactly. Ooh, that was rough.
So
I think that's
it's a second credit, right? Or a third credit.
third,
guess.
yeah.
I guess or second continue.
I think that's the last one, if I remember right. I did do a 1 credit clear, but it was not using these new weapons. Like I told you, like basically I stuck with the same weapon the whole time because I think the best thing for really trying to do that kind of survival, at least for me, for my play style, I used the whip plasma from Raiden 4, the big curly one, because it has really good lock-on capability, pretty good damage when it's actually all the way leveled up. So that balance really allows me to kill enemies quickly without having to move that much, so I can focus more on the dodging, and then also makes it so because especially on the Zakos and stuff, it has so much range that it keeps the screen more clear. So it's like there's just not a lot of stuff going on because it reacts so quickly to enemies that it usually just kills them so quickly.
Toothpaste laser being good again. Nice.
Yeah.
It got a little bit of use, as I recall, in the actual run of Raiden 4, but not a ton.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that! You see that pattern?
Damn.
This thing is nuts.
Yeah, bomb is definitely good there. I seem to notice you hoard the bombs pretty often.
I do. It's just something I've picked up over the years. Sometimes to my dismay, it affects me negatively sometimes when playing. It's just because I'm like, oh man, I want to save this for just the right moment.
But you don't lose the bombs for getting hit and stuff. So
no.
It's nice. It's also a nice perk of the shield, right?
Yeah.
You don't lose that stuff. That's
Exactly.
always the worst in like Raiden 4 too. If you're good, I remember going for like some 2-all attempts or whatever. You gotta have that first life really stuck of the bombs nicely, and then there's a point where you have 7 or 8 bombs or something like that for a little while. It's like, oh no, I died. Oh, this run's over.
This part, this is another one of the worst zoom outs because you see there's these weird little enemies that keep coming from all different directions that are actually suiciders. That as soon as you kill them, they shoot bullets right at you, but it's right in the middle of all this other stuff coming at you. So it's a lot of times your weapon hits them without you even knowing it, and they're shooting a suicide at you, but it's like you don't even know.
Yeah, I can see that being a problem.
Because you didn't even know they were there in the first place, and all of a sudden they have a bullet coming right at you. So.
Yeah, they did make use of the depth and stuff in some of these parts. It's nice.
Yeah, this is cool. It's like you're just traversing a cavern, sort of. You're going up, down, around.
Big ass cave with all these fucking ships and stuff in here.
Yep.
Be a big one.
I guess if you got a whole planet to build a cave system.
Super bright and blue.
Oh yeah. Maybe they're naturally formed. I suppose we'll never know. This isn't like Xevious where they created this huge backstory with all this complicated political stuff and.
Yeah.
So Miklos.
Miklos is doing his little animation now.
Yeah, and it's still the same goofy 2D animation. This part gets pretty rough. I hate those burst patterns like that. Those are so disorienting. It just looks so frightening. It's like you almost just start reacting to it instantly.
Are those like those are metals on the ground or what? What are those?
Yeah, those are just ground metals. I think they count as basically like 10 of the normal metals.
Oh, nice. That's why they're like looks special.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, those bullets.
Oh, hope you're ready for this guy, I guess.
Yeah, this is actually the same ship that was in the second level, but it's back now and it's like twice as powerful. There's a ferry.
You got fairly.
Fairly, yes.
How do they fuck that up?
There's a
Honestly.
couple other there's a couple other things.
It's on purpose, probably.
I don't know. With Japanese, it's hard to tell. But you'll notice at the end of the stages, or I think even in the transitions, you know, where it's supposed to say destroy rate, that's spelled wrong.
Yeah, typo. Another case of X part.
Yeah, I think
X part coming back.
I think it's destroy rate.
The story, it's equally as good as X part.
Yeah. Gotta love the English.
Oh, sad when they patched out X part in SCOJ. They patched it out. They fixed the typo.
Oh,
Please.
did they really?
Yeah, I believe they did. Please. X part, please. Oh, sweet. Got cubes and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. I like the visuals of this place a lot. And the music.
The onslaught of foes.
Oh, yeah.
Very final stage.
Those 4 of those cannons at once. The ones that I was just talking about how much I hate. And here is the final boss.
The true last boss?
Well, the true last boss is basically like the 5th and 6th phases of the last boss. So
Okay.
I'll point out when the normal boss patterns end. But yeah, this is bad news. Look at how fast those patterns are.
Then you just got like picked off.
Yeah, and each one of those ships has its own pattern that they're all firing at the same time. And that one,
Oh man, you actually
like
dodged some of that.
yeah. Cheer, come on. Yeah, still getting warmed.
Those are some fast patterns.
Yeah, I think this one might be the worst. This coming one here.
No.
Look at this.
Oh man, that'd be like a little doop 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 tap motion, but like even faster.
Yeah, it's bad. So this is where the normal boss ends, and where the true last boss starts.
Yeah, Jaquan, we found out you can't do 2-player in this game. Oh, it's a little unfortunate.
Yeah, but it might be added. See, this whole screen shaking thing doesn't happen if you're not doing the true last boss.
Okay. Yeah, we talked
There it
about
is.
cheer. Oh man, it's the purple base
It's-
of purpleness.
And it's actually just a like super version of the third boss. I don't know if you remember the third boss of the game was this water ship that it looks just like this, but it's red.
Oh,
But this is like the super flying advanced version of it.
okay.
And the patterns for this aren't probably as bad as you'd imagine for some of them, but it's awkward because the later patterns, it actually has it so it splits into multiple parts, and you'll see they attack you from 2 different directions. Like right now, I think it's going to happen. See, it's like they're manageable at first, but now I think they're going to do the dual like pincer attack, basically, where they pin you in the middle. Yeah, here it comes.
What?
And they both have different patterns, I believe. Yeah, look at it. That's not quite so
okay.
manageable. And it's like you can't even hit that one. besides with your little homing missiles. But yeah, here we go.
Good place to bomb, right?
Yeah. I should have, but so true last boss got me.
And a pretty sweet last boss, I gotta say. But the music is cool too.
Oh yeah.
Making it pretty climactic for a freaking hour-long game.
Yep. I think. Yeah. Look at those colors.
Oh, I can't what the bright pink background.
Man, those patterns. I think that's it. And this wasn't even on the highest rank. This was only A rank, pretty like my whole playthrough. So S is even a little bit harder.
Oh, right. Okay.
And this is still normal difficulty. This isn't anything higher.
Is the next difficulty hard, or is it arcade or something like that?
It's hard and then very hard.
They gotta have the multiple difficulties.
Yeah. So then there's just kind of an ending. And there's actually 6 different endings you can get.
Okay.
But that's pretty much it. I hope that covered, explained a lot of what was going on.
Yeah, definitely took the veil off the game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know what's going on here. No, the endings credits seem pretty cool. I kind of wanted that to continue.
Yeah, they are, and the song's cool. But yeah, hopefully it's lets a lot of people see and understand more about it instead of just reading text. It's a little bit better to hear it and see it.
Oh, hold up! I brought up the freaking credits on another video.
Oh, did you?
Score. Got that song. Got to get that song as we round out this episode.
Yeah, I think I've just heard it so many times from being in the game so many times. Not that it's not a cool song. It's just like I was like, okay, I'll skip it.
Try to find some more typos or something.
There might be some in there. I guess I never watched it that close.
Oh, they got like lots of different like artworks of the ships and stuff.
Yeah, and then there's a huge unlockable gallery that has the concept art, the final 3D render. It's got like all the art for all the characters, all the enemies, all the bosses, all that stuff. So you just unlock them by, I think, clearing it on the highest rank or something. You don't have to 1cc, but I think you just play through the game.
Yeah, this guy, Darius DKA, has a 1 credit clear with the true boss.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so check that out too.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Well, cool. It was really cool to check out Raiden 5. It seems like it's definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a Raiden fan, I would say. I mean, I'm kind of hype. I'm kind of hype myself.
Yeah, and it's
like
also
games, so.
it's good to note that Xbox One's also region free, so you don't need to worry about like getting a Japanese Xbox One or whatever. So if you want to take the plunge, you can just go to your local retailer and get one for like $250 or whatever. You can find them for around that now. So.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's good to know about the region free part as well.
Uh-huh.
Was not clear about that myself.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and I mean, they're even doing it for the backwards compatible stuff now too. Even if it's a Japanese region or version of the game, it'll play on your American Xbox One. So,
gotcha. Yeah, I'm glad we checked it out. Raiden 5. I wish I could play it, but I don't think I'll be getting an Xbox One soon. But I understand that there are some other shmups coming to the Xbox One, right?
Yeah, the others,
well,
there's some other indie ones, but the other major ones from the known Japanese developers, Triangle is going to make the new Shooting Love compilation, which is going to include the previous 2 that were on 360, as well as a brand new Shooting Shmups Test and some other new game that they're probably going to come up with. So. The other one is by the developers of Eschatos, what's it called, Natsuki Chronicle, they've been working on that for a little while, and a lot of people seem pretty hyped about it. But I mean, I guess they would be after, because a lot of people like Eschatos. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are the bigger ones that are set to come out for now. But there's other ones that are kind of popping up on the marketplace, and just as digital only, and maybe from some Euro developers or something like that. But it's
right.
So if you invest in it and you're really only a shmups player, you'll at least have a little bit more to play with, because that's kind of how 360 started out too. At first there was just a few. There was Idol Master basically to sell it in Japan, and then there was Cave started releasing their stuff, and it was it just kind of built gradually.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so that's gonna wrap it up for episode 91. Thank you, MachinesAres, for coming on.
Yeah, it was
excellent
awesome
commentary. It was really fun to check out Raiden 5. For me, the first time seeing the stages and stuff, so you guys got to experience that true Raiden fan just love and hype for the series, because I really do enjoy it. And the music went really well at the stages. That's really important for a good Raiden experience.
Yep, it is
the music. And it seemed like it's pretty good. Like the Caladrius style, like that stuff can get a little overwhelming at times, I feel like, but I'm sure you can probably turn out the music if you want and just put your own soundtrack on.
Right.
Which is definitely possible. And so it seems to has all the stuff, and give it a shot if you can. And we're out here for STG Weekly 91. Take care, everyone, and have a good one.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.